And welcome into another edition of the BIS podcast, broadcasting live on the Marvin Network, where our goal is to bring you updates in technology in local government and to mix in a little bit of fun as well. Josh Green, your host as always, and on today's episode of the BIS podcast, we're going to be going over one of our favorite subjects, and that is backups. And to talk more about that today, we actually have one of our newer-ish employees joining us today, and that's Pat Briley. And Pat's been with us for a little bit, but he is now the guy that takes over the backups or controls the backups here at BIS. So first off, Pat, it's great to have you on. First time guest here on the podcast, and always love having a first timer on.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem at all, man. Again, did you ever expect, when you came to BIS, you'd be doing something like this?
No, sir, I did not.
I always ask that anybody that kind of first starts with us, and they get hired on, and like, I didn't know I have to be on a podcast. So,
right.
But hey, like I tell people, we're very different around here, but we love it, and that's what makes us unique, I think.
Yeah, I told my daughter today, I said, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be on the internet. I got to do a podcast today.
Hey, there
She's
you
like,
go.
oh, boy.
Well, just watch what you say, Pat. I've been around.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Well, again, Pat, you've been one of our newer employees. I say newer-ish employees now because you're kind of a custom here at BIS. So kind of talk to me a little bit, though, before we get into our topic today of backups. Kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, Pat, and why you chose BIS.
I started back in September of last year, and I was unfortunately part of a RIF employee layoff at my other job that I had been there for 28 years. So was looking for a job. Knew Stoney, who used to work here, and told me they had some openings for some positions in IT. So I applied, and I guess the rest is history. Got the position and hit the ground running.
There you go. And we miss old Stoney as well. And he told me about you, and he told me he told me, yeah, you're an okay type golfer, but he didn't tell me you were a great golfer, though. I saw you swung at Top Golf, so I know you're hiding something.
I'm not great. I wish I could play more to where I could be more consistent, but yeah, it's a frustrating game. That's for sure.
Yes, sir, it is. Well, again, Pat, folks, has been a really great employee here. Again, I call him newer-ish because this is the first time we've had him on the podcast, but he's been with us for close to a year here at BIS. He's done a great job getting accustomed to the backups, and in the past, Pat, I've had Brandon Lewis on before. I know he kind of trained you up here to take over the backup role. And, he was always very, just going on about how backups are so important when it comes to IT. And I know for a guy like yourself that's been in the business for close to 30 years, that has to be the same thing. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You never know. I mean, what's going to happen? Like we've had, last couple of weeks, we had a CAD that they had a lightning strike. Boom, blew their host. It was gone. And luckily, they have backups from us. So we're able to spin up a new host for them and get them back up and running. If you don't have backups, that's not going to happen.
Talk to us a little bit about the process of backups.
Okay, so there we have automated server backups and we have automated workstation backups. So the server backups take a image of the server every night. And then once that's done, it saves it locally to a NAS, which is a local storage device. Once that's complete, it does an offsite backup to the cloud. We have our offsite storage is Wasabi. So all backups are stored offsite in the evening after the locals are done. Same thing with workstations, except for they're done at 5:30 in the evening. And they're only done as an offsite. There's no locals of those, but those are also saved to the offsite storage of Wasabi.
Gotcha. And again, one of the important things about VIS is that we emphasize that if you have our IT maintenance services, that you have backups as well. Just because, as Pat said, there could be a lightning strike, something kind of natural could happen. I mean, you always just want to be prepared, Pat. And I think that's the thing where we want to get across to people.
Absolutely. You got to prepare for the you don't know what's going to happen, so always be prepared for if something does happen, you're set, you're okay with you've got backups, so that you can get it back up and running.
No, absolutely, Pat. What are some of the things that if you've seen, again, you've been in the business now in IT for close to 30 years, from where you were at now to here at BIS, what's kind of different about the way BIS goes about not only just backups, but services in general? And just because you're on the IT side, what are you seeing kind of in, the transition from your old job to your new job?
Well, it's kind of my old job. I was way back in support for the POS machines that we had at all the stores. So, and we were level 3. So first line of defense was customer service. They didn't fix it, went to level 2, then it went to us. So it's kind of the same here, at BIS. You've got, if a CAD has a problem, they call in. Level 1s usually, answer the phones first. And if they can't fix it, then they escalate it up to the level 2. Level 2 can't fix it, then it get escalated to the level 3, which is the brainiacs of the IT, and then they take care of it from there. So, I mean, it's pretty much the same as far as the flow, I guess, of when something comes in, there's an issue, how it goes through. I definitely think that we have better customer service on our end as far as contacting the CADs, and taking care of that kind of stuff which I really don't have much to judge against because like I said, I was at that company for so long, and so I can only compare them and us. So, but we didn't really, at that other company, we didn't really talk to the customers. It was store employees that we dealt with. So,
and how do you feel like now that you have kind of that interaction, as you said, not with maybe an employee of the company, but with the client directly?
Oh, it's nice. I mean, because they were, we were saying in the meeting the other day, when you reach out to them and you talk to them, they know that you have their best interest in heart. You're trying to fix, whatever issue they have, and they know that, okay, they're reaching out, they're calling, they're going to take care of. It gives them a warm and fuzzy, right? They know if something goes wrong, we've got their back. We're there for them. We're going to do whatever we have to do to get them back on, to right the ship and get them back up and going.
Absolutely, Pat. And again, as you talked about just a little bit ago, one of the things that we do here at BIS is not only just locally store the backups, but we also do off-site backups as well, just to make sure that there's that extra protection. Because again, if something happens to that other backup, then you have another backup. Again, you can't have too many backups when it comes to important data that our clients use.
No. Well, yes, it's like, so for instance, if you do a local backup to the facility, something happens to the facility, we're in Tornado Alley or whatever, the storms we have here in Texas. God forbid something happens and the whole CAD's office is wiped, gone, there goes your locals too. So that's the reason to have the offsites in the evening, or, the offsite backups, is because that's in the cloud. So we could get to it if, something like that happens to where the host is completely gone, we still have backups.
Gotcha. And one of the things, Pat, again, if something, obviously if a disaster happens, what's the process of getting those backups back on or getting the system back up using the backups?
Well, it depends on what part of what they're wanting backed up, because sometimes they'll call in and an employee actually deleted some files off a server or whatever. So then I can go in, do a file restore, and just, if they give me the path of where that file is, I could go in and to the previous date, restore that file, put it back in there for them. If it's the whole host that's gone, basically we'll spin up a new host, and then I'll go into the offsite backups and I'll do a restore of the VMs, which is the virtual machines. I'll spin up restore each one of those, and then once I get those done, then I usually hand it over to either Vinny or Steven, and they'll do what they need to do as far as the network side goes to all those, and then get them spun up, and then they're ready to go.
And again, folks, Vinny and Steven, there are level 3 techs here.
Yes.
As Pat was just mentioning a little bit ago, kind of everything escalates a little bit. If it escalates to level 1, level 2, then gets to level 3, that's where Vinny and Steven can come in and really get those harder issues solved and getting CAD back up and running. Pat, doing backups and everything else, as one of the things we talk about here on the podcast is especially, not only the disaster happens, but also that disaster includes cybersecurity, and you can never have too many backups. Now, with everything just being out there in digital, having a backup of something is very important in the case that maybe someone gets hacked or something like that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. all the phishing emails, and then, like you said, somebody hacking them in or hacking into their system, and then just wiping it. Yeah. And then, if you got backups and you've got that peace of mind, right? That if something does happen like that, unfortunately, it happens a lot nowadays. You've got the peace of mind that if that does happen, you at least have backups of if they go in there and they wipe something off, or they delete something or they try to hold you ransom to, we're locking everything down, however it works, whatever they do maliciously, you've got backups to restore from if something like that unfortunately does happen.
Absolutely, Pat. And again, if you'd like to find out more information on backups or the services we provide here at BIS, feel free to give us a call at 800-247-9045, or you can also email us at sales@bisconsultants.com. Pat, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us today here on the podcast. I know you're a busy man, you got a lot going on, but thank you for taking the time to join us today, and we can't wait to have you back on until next time.
All right, thanks, Josh.
Thank you to Pat Briley for joining us today here on this episode of the BIS podcast. We've been going over backups. I'm Josh Green, and for Pat and I, until next time, so long and goodbye.